Hello everyone, welcome. I'm somewhere different today, so I'm currently in my mum's garage. I'm also talking a little bit quietly because my mum and my sister are currently in the kitchen doing some cleaning. I'm here to do some sewing. This was my plan, that I wanted to do some sewing down at mum's just because she's got space to do it. I've got the ironing board out, I've got the table, got my sewing machine, and I'm going to prep some book sleeves. So I've got my fabric with me. I've got my old tea towels that I made. So if you haven't watched any of my previous vlogs, I made some tea towels. So they're all sewed. They've got like the little tag on them to hang them up. They've got the little label that I had sort of printed. Also, I'm aware this lighting is like really bad. There's like a window right here and I don't think I can really do much about that. So, or can I adjust it? No, I can't adjust it. So, sorry. But unfortunately, this fabric shrinks in the wash. I made 4 tea towels and I put one in the wash and basically to see like what it would do before I sold them. And unfortunately it shrunk quite a lot in the wash. Not a lot, but say like about an inch, I think, around the edge. So unfortunately it's not suitable to be sold as tea towels. So I'm going to like repurpose this fabric. I've also got some different type of fabric and with a smaller pattern. So this is the same as my tea towel, but I just made like the little illustration smaller because I had the intention of making like bags with it. But as time has gone on, I realised that actually book sleeves are kind of more like the way to go. And I kind of have everything all ready to do book sleeves. So I've got like a lining fabric which I bought ages ago, and I'm going to repurpose my labels. So originally, obviously these are for the tea towels. They've got like washing. Oh god, come on! I don't know why this is doing this. It's not what I normally do. It's probably used to just being on the boat, so the lighting conditions are just different in here. But this has got washing instructions on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the washing instructions off, singe the edge with like a candle, and then sew it because I want to sew my logo onto the front of the book sleeves. I was binge watching loads of tutorial videos of how to do book sleeves, so I have a good idea of what I'm doing. I did write some instructions down, and my plan is to make what I can with what the fabric I have, and I'm going to have them with like a button and like a little elastic band so you can fasten them. I thought that's quite a good idea, just so in case people wanted to use them as say like a Kindle sleeve or like for like their iPad or something. That way they're not going to like fall out or anything. So they're kind of a bit multi-purpose. These are my sewing instructions, which I just wrote down when I was watching all of the tutorials on YouTube. And I've got to try and decipher what I've written. So I've done my template. So it's just like a bit of the card that I found in the drawer. And this is my template for an 8x10 book sleeve with a 1/2 inch seam allowance as well. Just give you a bit of an update of where I am at the moment. Not very far. Oh, I just threaded the needle wrong as well. I tried sewing on one of the little labels and it turned out horrible. I think because the fabric is just sort of like naturally kind of stretchy, and even the edge that was kind of cut by the manufacturer is a little bit wonky. Just, it looked horrible. So this is the actual piece that I use, and obviously this piece is ruined now because I unpicked it and then tried sewing it on again. Had to unpick it. Now I've got like a bit of a hole in the fabric, so I'm gonna have to cut another piece of this because I had the intention of sort of making like a couple of pouches today, a couple of sleeves, but I mean I'll probably just cut that bit off and just like reuse this as something else. I don't know what though, but yeah, that's a bit annoying. And I had a little practice, so I started off doing like a little zigzag stitch because I thought, well, that looked nice and hopefully would kind of prevent it from fraying like in the future, but that looked horrible. And then I did like a straight stitch and that looked horrible as well. And yeah, I think you would need like a fabric. This is like polyester, like that kind of, like on like your tags and your clothes, it's that shiny satiny stuff, and it's too slippery and like elasticated, and it's not good for like sewing all the way around. So I think you need like a fabric, cotton or something a bit more firmer to do like a patch like that. So for now, for the moment, I won't have my logo on the sleeves. So I had to rewatch a few videos to try and refresh like what I was doing. I sewed on a button. I sewed a button on one of the panels. I did that first before I put the iron on the wadding. So this wadding is like, it's got a glue, one side is glued, got glue on it, and you heat it up and it sticks to the fabric. I wanted to put the button on first because I didn't want any stitching coming on the inside, on the like inner fabric, so when you're putting your book in and out of the sleeve, it's not going to catch on any fabric or anything, on any thread. So I did that first, and now I'm in the process of just sewing the top bit along two of the panels. So wish me luck, and send thoughts and prayers. Okay, so I was on the home stretch and I was going to put in, or I did attempt to put in like a top stitch along the edge, just to sort of make it look neat and also keep the inner lining inside. But the edges, like where the seams are, they're too fat. They're a bit too fat and bulky, so I kind of messed up. So, but I think this is going to be like my practice one. I'm going to keep this one for myself because I've had to unpick the stitching along there, so I've kind of mulled it a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely, I've learned a few things from it. So even though I did follow like a couple of other people's tutorials, I definitely noticed that there are some things that I need to change with them, because like not everybody is the same. So this fabric is quite thick, and when I ironed on the wadding, I did it quite lightly, so it stuck onto the fabric, but I did it quite lightly because I didn't want to like compress the wadding, keep it nice and fluffy. So I think that kind of made it quite poofy. So yeah, so I think next time, I think I'm going to cut the wadding smaller than the fabric. So when I do the seams, they'll just be fabric on fabric rather than fabric, so it's like 4 layers and wadding, and it's quite difficult to sew without wadding because it gets kind of stuck on the foot. So you're currently sat on top of my sewing machine, but yeah. So 8 by 10. I need to measure this actually to see if this is actually like an 8 by 10. But yeah, got a little button, a little loop thing on it. I think I sewed the button on slightly off center. But yeah, that is my first attempt at a book sleeve. So I was going to sew another one. I did apart from that bit of fabric that I ruined, I was going to cut out another bit and have another go. But it's actually it's getting hot in here in the garage now. I've had to shut the door. I could open these up, but I think the flies and stuff are all just going to come in. So it is starting to get hot now. So I'm going to have a break. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I hadn't had one since this morning. Have a cup of tea. Process things. I like sewing. It is frustrating. It's like, I think with any like DIY, like I quite like it, but I find it so frustrating. Yeah, I need to sort of think about what I've done, think about what I need to change, what I need to do for next time. And I think I definitely need to rewrite my instructions because I couldn't understand what the hell I've written, hence why I had to keep going back and watching the video clips. So yeah, okay, that's it. I'm gonna get a cup of tea. I'm gonna cry in a corner somewhere. So in here, this is my order, my notepad order. So this arrived on Friday. It's currently Wednesday. I went off to my mum's at the weekend, so I left Friday. So I was waiting around for this to arrive so that I can leave. And I haven't actually looked in here yet. So we're gonna do this because I wanted to like film this and do this together. I've also been ill. I'm still ill now. I kind of wasn't feeling very well on Friday, and then I was fine Saturday, and then Sunday evening I could tell I was getting ill, like more and more snotty and everything. And then Monday I was proper ill, and I was basically in bed all day. Monday, Tuesday, yeah. Is it Wednesday today? Yeah, it is Wednesday today, yeah. So I don't know where I've got this disgusting disease from. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think hopefully it's just like a regular cold, and I'm hoping it's going away now because I'm starting to feel a bit better. So I don't get ill very often, and I hate getting ill. I mean, who does? But yeah, I think because I don't get ill very often, I tend to feel it a lot more. But in this box I've got I did 2 backing cards, and I've got all of I should have some stickers in here as well, some like logo stickers, and my notepads. So this is going to be like our first look together. So let's do this. Let's have a look at we'll do it at the pin backing cards first. This is the backing card for my fairy toad wooden pin. So I decided to do them a little bit different to my other backing cards, which I'll show you. So these are my other backing cards for my 2 other pins. I've got a mushroom pin and my owl moth pin. So they've still got the ferns on the bottom, so everything's the same. So the font, the logo, and then the ferns at the bottom. They're still sort of like the same, but I just thought I wanted something where kind of it complements it a little bit. And then this is the backing card for the Midnight Fox pin. So Midnight Guardian pin. I'm doing. Okay, I'm trying to film this as best I can. It's really overcast. It's actually raining at the moment, and I've tried adjusting and the camera. I've tried like closing the curtains, opening the curtains, turning on the light. So I'm sorry if the lighting's not great. I'm kind of limited to where I can film anyway. So I'm hoping that you could see everything well. I got a selection of different designs rather than having one design and then having it in different sort of colours. I'm going to get something. So these are my A6 little notepads. So these are from my Fox Guardian pin. My Fox Guardian artwork, and yeah, so they've got like the window frame and the moths and like the starry background. So they're blank. So this is my Fairy Toad notepad, so A6, and this one I was going to do, I think, 3 or 4 variants of just like different coloured backgrounds, but when I was sort of kind of thinking when I was designing these, I thought it actually makes more sense just to come up with some like different, you know, designs, like different, rather than sort of having the same design, if I'm making sense, but different colours, rather than I'd just better have different, you know, just to make it sort of give more choice to people. So that's my Fairy Toad again on a sort of like a starry background. I've gone for like a really sort of midnight starry kind of feel with like this collection at the moment. It wasn't intentional, it just sort of happened to sort of be like that. This design I came up on the fly, basically. I wanted to do like another sort of different design, and I just thought, well, my moth is really popular, and I just thought it makes sense to do a notepad of my moth. So I designed this one, I think on the same day that I actually made the order, put everything in. So this is A5, it's lined as well. So it's on like a bluey, again, starry background. I've got like my ferns, which they're just sort of like a slightly different colour. It's yeah, it's interesting just to see it. I always find like the colours come out a lot darker than what it is on the screen. So it's just sort of having, just to kind of remind myself next time just to be aware of that. But I don't know, sometimes I find that they come out a little bit more richer. I guess that's probably more appropriate. They come out richer than what's on the screen, I guess. So yeah, the paper's like really, really nice. It's got like a nice kind of soft, silky feel to them. Yeah. That's my A5 owl moth notepad. No idea where I'm going to put all these to, by the way. I think I'm going to take off like all of this and lay them flat. What I do is that I tend to invert them so it keeps the paper all nice and flat. Otherwise they can tend to sort of wrinkle a little bit. So I'll probably stack them in a way just to keep them all nice and flat and sort of safe. And these are my logo stickers. So I've got some old logo stickers, which are these ones. I was going for like a green and purple kind of brand colour. And again, I'm still sticking with like kind of like the starry moon kind of theme. I don't know, I've just, you know, when things just kind of happen, but you're not really sort of doing it intentionally. Like I'm finding myself, like when I do a piece of art, like I'm kind of naturally like adding moths to them and or like little starry sparkly bits or something. It's just, I don't know, it's just how the path that I'm taking with it. So I'm not complaining. It's nice to sort of to find my kind of style or my brand. That is something that I'm kind of working, you know, like constantly towards. Which actually, I'll show you actually. So my mum picked this up for me. I think she got it from the charity shop. How to style your brand. So I'm going to give that a read and sort of maybe sort of come up with some ideas. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm still working on constantly is to have like a consistent brand, like consistent font, consistent colours. I'm going to have to sort of read that book, sit down and kind of come up with something. But I really love like the moth and the stars and the moon. I think that's I'm finding it's more me. So I want to kind of carry that on. So I'll use these up. And once they're gone, and I sort of just carry on with these ones. And these are my weekly planners. So originally I went with the fairy toad, and in the last vlog I think I was discussing about that and the issue that I was having. I didn't know whether I wanted to stick with the fairy toad or whether to go with something I thought maybe more people might like. And so I decided to go with, I didn't realise how big they were. So I decided to go with the Fox Guardian because it was actually thundering outside. Foxes are popular, most people love foxes, and I just thought I like the colours with this. I like the kind of like the sort of the dark colours, the moths that kind of contrast, the orange. Hang on. So yeah, I like the sort of contrast between like the dark colours, the dark sort of background, the orange moths with the orange fox. So I just kind of included him here in the corner, and the moths as well. I couldn't obviously add too much because obviously you need enough space for it to be usable. So I kind of put them in places where they suited and wouldn't sort of get in the way too much. But yeah, so hopefully there's enough room there to kind of write your weekly planner. It's lined as well, each box, and 50 sheets here made on the same paper. So it's 120 GSM, and it's made from the same kind of nice soft smooth paper. So that's my weekly planner. So that is all of my one of my stationery that I was taking absolutely ages to design. I ordered a couple of new pins, so I hadn't planned on getting any more pins, but I thought I really like the pins that I got and I do want to do some more, so I just did 2 designs and I really like my fairy toad pin. They look really good. I just love the contrast between like the bright green and sort of like the kind of regular toad colour, even though he's not like a proper toad, like accurate toad colour. He does have like green spots on him. I also did my fox pin, so I wasn't too sure how this was going to turn out, and I also got it made, like printed on some different wood that I've never had before, which is walnut. Because it was a darker wood, I thought it might sort of go with the darker pin, but I've noticed that it's got quite deep wood grains in it. I don't know if you can see it, maybe you can if the light captures it, but because it's such a small little image, I think it's kind of noticeable. Again, I wasn't really too sure how this was going to turn out. I thought it's a nice picture, so maybe it will look quite nice on a pin. I think if it was on different wood, I think it would look a bit better. Like it wouldn't have that kind of deep grain, because this is on cherry wood, and it's a little bit sort of smoother. It's still got like, I mean, every single pin has got is wood, so it's all got like a wood grain, but this one obviously more noticeable. So what I thought, I do have some like varnish which you use for like oil painting, and I thought I've sort of painted this one. It's still a bit tacky. I thought maybe it might fill in like the wood grain a little bit, but I don't think it is. I might have to go over it maybe a few layers. I'm gonna experiment to see if like the wood varnish sort of helps it a little bit. If not, then I think I might sell these at like a discount. They're fine. They're like, they're not defected or anything like that. It's just the fact that the wood grain is more like noticeable than the other wood grains that I got. But I would get these printed again if they sold well, but I would choose a different wood. But the fairy toads I really like. I think I don't know, I think they might be my favourite actually. How many did I get? I can never remember how many I get. I usually always get like a small number anyway. Wait, oh god, I've got 13. I think it's 10 that I get. I think it's 10. So I've got 13 of them as well. Yeah, some of the wood grain is like more, like this one's very sort of got a lot more wood grain than this one. So Oh, that's the one I painted. I think that was probably like one of the most, that I think is the most grainiest one. It sort of goes across like his face more, and you can kind of, yeah, I'm gonna have a go with the varnish. I've got like, it's like a Newton Windsor like varnish for oil painting. I have used it before, like on I think when I was doing like acrylic, I think it's just like a general acrylic oil varnish. So I'll try, see if it will help with the graininess. Oh my god, my hair. Oh. Desperate need of a haircut. The last time I had my haircut was in, it was October, end of October. And I think my hair has grown like about, I think I must have had my hair like cut like about that much off. So it must have grown like about over 2 inches. Anyway. So I'm battling with my hair at the moment. I wanted to show you my book sleeve that I made. So I didn't sort of, I'm battling with like the light in here as well. For some reason the camera is just, I don't know, I think I'm hoping it's okay, but I've noticed that the lighting is just not great on it, like it's struggling a bit. I've had to sort of manually, I normally like have the lighting set on like manual setting, and it doesn't help that it's like really overcast at the moment. I think it's going to rain. At the weekend I was down at my mum's doing some book sleeves, or I made one book sleeve and this is it. So I didn't really film much actual sewing. I was just sort of trying to concentrate on what I was doing, so I wasn't really thinking much about actual filming. But this is the final sort of, that's the final product. So what I found out was that right from the start I made a mistake with my template, so I didn't measure it out properly. So I thought I was making like a medium-sized book sleeve, which was like a 10 by 8, but this ended up being I think it's like a 7 by something. It's like about an inch smaller than what I planned it out to be. So it's in between a small and a medium kind of regular sized book sleeve. And also I'm going to sort of, well, I've already done it. So before I left mum's on the Sunday, I cut out everything. So I cut out all of my fabric and the wadding as well. Kind of got everything prepped, so when I go down to mum's sometime next week, I can just sort of get on and sew everything. So I made the wadding half an inch smaller, so when I go to sew it, I'm not sort of like sewing 2 layers of like wadding together, because it was too fat around the top here, so I couldn't do like I couldn't finish it off with a stitch along the top. You don't have to. I've seen people make book sleeves without doing that, but it just sort of looks, it just kind of finishes it off, and it also, it can sort of stop the lining kind of rolling up as well. But yeah, so it's got like a little button with a little band just to fasten it, just to stop. I was just sort of thinking if people have got like a Kindle or an iPad or something, it'll just stop it from sort of falling out. But yeah, it's nice. This is my personal own one. It's very nice. It's very nice. Very nice, just nice and squidgy to touch. But whilst I was cutting and sewing and seam ripping and stuff like that, I would like to have like regular fabric products available in my shop. I think I might just stick to like a couple of things, so maybe like sleeves, book sleeves, and say maybe like hair scrunchies, because that's something you can kind of make out from remnants of fabric, and they're quite easy to make as well. But I was thinking I'd love to sort of make another design, like another fabric design. I'm kind of, in my head, I keep thinking of like pink and yellow. So you know those, I don't know if you've seen them, they're not native to like the UK, but they're maple moths. They're like this really nice pink and yellow colour, and I wanted to do some like moths like that, like this sort of nice soft pastel-y colours or something. I think that will look quite like a nice contrast, but that's the kind of pattern I've got at the moment for like a future fabric. The other thing as well is I've been putting some varnish on the top of my fox pins. I put like a few layers on and I left them to dry overnight, and I'm just sort of like putting more layers on them. The wood is just soaking up the varnish. I will do these at a discount. They're not up to sort of like my kind of high standard. They're perfectly fine. They're not, like I said before, they're not like defected or anything. It's just the wood grain. It's got sort of quite deep wood grain, and sort of like the ink, or the I guess it's ink what they use, is kind of sunk into the wood grain, and it kind of shows like the wood lines. And also on a small image like this, so this image is sort of A4 size, and it's sort of shrunk down to sort of like an inch and a little bit. Yeah, so you lose some of the detail, but I was just sort of like a little bit of an experiment really, just to see if a big image like this would look fine on a small pin like this. I'm still debating about whether I would order more in on a different wood. But yeah, like I love sort of any kind of feedback from anybody, like what, like, is this, it's hard you just get like used to seeing things, and sometimes you're not always sort of sure, but I think this is one I haven't actually got any gloss on, but yeah, I've got a couple of that I didn't put any gloss on, and I got the rest of them I'm just sort of like comparing them. Yeah, it does take the edge off the wood grain, but it doesn't obviously eliminate it, because you're not going to be able to. So yeah, the varnish takes ages to dry though. So hello, different day, different t-shirt. I'm nearly finished editing the vlog, and I realised that I didn't do an outro. I'm still varnishing the fox pins, so the varnish needs it needs to dry overnight properly before you kind of put on any other layers. But I've just been having a look at them, and they do look really nice. Well, they do look nice. and they look fine with the varnish on actually. So obviously in the light you're going to see it's going to be sort of like, oops, I'm trying to, come on. So obviously it's a varnish, it's a gloss varnish, so you're going to see it, but it does take that edge off a little bit of the wood grain. But yeah, I still plan on sort of selling them at a discount. I think I will put like maybe another couple of varnishes on them, but I just thought as well I'll show you what they look like on the backing pin as well, or backing card, sorry. So, I'm doing this. I've got a separate separate screen. I'm trying to do this, and it's so awkward. Oh, good. And I'll show you my toad pins as well. So yeah, I really love my toe pins. They look really good. I just think that they're that sort of like, they're not too big. They're not like a big illustration that's like my fox pin, and they just, I don't know, I think they look really good. So I'm gonna wrap this up now. I'm aware that the vlog is getting to about 40 minutes, so I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I think I'm gonna put up an extra video. It's Monday that you're watching this, so this coming Sunday I'm gonna do like the shop launch. I'm gonna like advertise it on Instagram and also up on YouTube. I think I'm gonna put it up on the communities page. Which I've never done before, but I'll post something up there and maybe do like some shorts or something. And yeah, I think I might, not guarantee, but I will see if I'll do like an extra little vlog as well. But yeah, thank you for watching, and if you like to sort of follow along with me, I'd love that. If you want to sort of follow along with me on Instagram as well, I'll put like links to everything in the description below. Thank you again, and I hope you like my products that I've got, my new products that I've got coming out. So this coming Sunday, 10 o'clock GMT time is when it's going to be launching my new stuff. So till then, goodbye everyone. Hope you have a good week. Bye.